Sir, at the time of my birth, my parents were on shipboard on their way from London to New England. My entrance into this troublesome world was attended with the death of my father, a misfortune. When we arrived at Boston, I might no longer be a charge to my indigent mother, who was put to hard shifts for a living. My reverend master, who had hitherto remained a bachelor, took up a resolution to marry. He began unexpectedly to cast a loving eye upon me, whom he had brought up cleverly to his hand. As he had been a great benefactor, I could not well deny his request for marriage, when I once perceived he was in earnest. We lived happily together in the height of conjugal love and mutual endearments. I have now remained in a state of widowhood for several years, but it is a state I never much admired, and I am apt to fancy that I could be easily persuaded to marry again, provided I was sure of a good-humored, sober, agreeable companion.
In my early years, my family and I got along very well, until I was told what was to be of my life. My father wanted me to become a candle and soap maker, but I craved working for a newspaper and being a writer. It wasn't until the 12th birthday I had that father allowed me to become an apprentice for my brother. I've become quite fond of my brother and his friends while working as an apprentice, but my brother did not want me around him or his friends. He used to beat me while at the shop, often for no reason, and often after I presented him with some of my writings in the hope that he would be willing to publish them. He always became angry. It wasn't until recently that I put the two together and realized that James envied me. I believed that there was no good reason for James to envy me, but rather should use me for his own success and the success of his paper. While I started working on my articles for James's paper, I kept watching them get declined. Despite the numerous others who praised my work and told me that I should not give up, it had been months since James had published an article of mine. Most of the time, he wouldn't even read them. So one day while thinking in the library, I had a stroke of genius. I needed to use a pen name in order to write for my brother's paper. I chose the name Silence Dogood for the mockery of this situation. For 6 months, I would send out 2 or 3 letters. The letters were about a tease of women's fashion, politics, or simply the people in town. As a middle-aged widowed woman, I got many letters from men asking to meet me, saying that they fancied me, or even boldly asking for my hand in marriage. Over the course of 6 months, Silence Dogood became increasingly popular. In order to not be seen while delivering the letters, I went at the stroke of midnight and slid the letters under the door of the printing shop. It wasn't until I'd stopped writing the letters, they'd put up posters and newsletters for Silence Dogood to step out and keep writing. I went to James one day while he was working, confessing that I was Silence Dogood. He was very upset that I had outwitted him and the other people of Boston. He yelled at me and told me never to come back to the New England Current. Since I could not go back and Silence Dogood had been revealed, I left Boston and snuck upon a ship to Philadelphia, where I hoped I could become a serious writer. It wasn't until James was dying that I finally returned to Boston to take over the New England Current and bid him my last farewell. Many years after, I retired from printing and started inventing, and even helped write the Declaration of Independence.